Hey, what's up? Today, I'm gonna prove scientifically that Nickelback is overhated because strip down the mainstream, overproduced arena rock production, which sometimes is kick-ass, I have to admit. At the core of Nickelback is catchy pop songwriting. That is why we're gonna make an 80s synthwave type pop beat for Nickelback. So yeah, without further ado, let's go Nickelback to the past. So this song is structured into intro slash verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. So the pre-chorus section is really small, but the main sections is verse, chorus, okay? Classic. So for the verse, we have 2 pads, 2 plucks, and some drums. I have the chords of the song. It goes something like this. This basically just serves as a foundation for everything else. So just like a bed of synth. So then we layer it with another pad. So far so good. Now we want to add some plucky elements so that it just drives the song forward. Okay, very simple pluck, just following the chords. And then finally, counter melody going at the end of the 4 bars, both times. And that kind of concludes the verse section. Very simple, but we do have vocals here, and usually Nickelback vocals are kind of harmonized a few times, so they're gonna take up quite a lot of space. So now we need to get some drums going. So the first part, which is kind of more the intro bit, doesn't have any drums. And then for the second 8 bars, we have a hi-hat, a kick, and a snare. Okay, without any effects, the drums go something like this. They sound good, but I want some 80s. I want them to sound bad almost. What I'm gonna do, I'll apply tape mellow-fi. It's just noisy tape, and I've adjusted it a bit. Okay? And now the whole tone of the drums changes. Completely just cuts some lows, makes them less massive, and it gives them like an 80s nostalgia feel while still remaining kind of like true to the source. So after that, we go to the pre-chorus. So this is gonna be literally the chorus elements but filtered. Okay, and then the only thing that I'm show here is the guitar, which is just me plugging in and recording some very basic guitar. Guitar rake 6 using these settings. I'm just using the Stereo 80s Monster preset. Then I have Tau Chorus LX, which is one of the best chorus plugins, and then CQ using these settings. So let's jump straight to the chorus. I'll start with the drums because the drums kind of kickstarted everything. So we still have the same hat, same snare, same kick. The only difference is that the hat now goes quicker, so it's just alternating velocities. I've added 2 loops, which are all feeding to the same drum channel, are being processed by the same tape mellow-fi. So this one goes like this. Okay, just add some bounce. And then I have another loop that sounds like this. All in all, the drums sound like this. You might be able to tell that in the chorus, we have the same sounds, but I've doubled them up, and then one goes to the drum bus and one doesn't. The reason for that is I want the crisp edge of a snare drum and like the low end of a kick drum without it being too cut off from the tape mellow-fi. I still want to keep the main characteristics of the drums using that tape mellow-fi. However, now with the snare and the kick, I've just duplicated them, and then I've just kind of mix them in, so you can still hear some high end, some low end for the kick, some high end for the snare, but the main characteristics of the drums stay the same. So that's kind of what's going on here. And then obviously these loops. So this kind of reminded me of Flashdance, She's a Maniac. So the first thing I did was get a little pluck. Right, that's literally just playing the chords of the song. And it's arpeggiating, just following a sequence of D sharp and D. Just gives you that half a tone vibe, and then this is just arpeggiating the chords. That's the whole music theory behind this. Okay, so after that, I wanted some chords. Went through a bunch of patches, couldn't figure anything out, so I just created my own. So the chords are literally the chords of the song, just spread over a few octaves. So they go something like this. Now, this is a simple serum patch I created, and these are the settings, just 4 saw waves, -1 on the octave, and then for the effects, some hyper, some chorus, some reverb, and that is pretty much it. The LFO is hitting the level here, ducking out the volume. That's all that's happening. That's the main layer of chords, right? And then I felt like that needed some extra, some oomph, some spice. So I found this patch in the Oberhausen synth, and it's called Canada Keys. Now, pop quiz. Where's Nickelback from? Duh, Canada. So that naturally just kind of fit. So this is just playing the top note of the chord. It's not a massive layer, but it is a layer nonetheless. So then finally, we have another layer of chords that are playing sus chords. What I'm doing here is playing slightly different chords. So as you can see here, I'm playing the, what is this? That looks like a C minor sus4, I'm guessing. So it's basically playing a sus chord and then the main chord, then sus main, and that's kind of the pattern. And then to show you what that sounds like, so it adds some tension to the chords, which we love tension. So yeah, that's the main melodic bits, obviously with the pluck. And then the bass. The bass just follows the root of the chord and is this plucky 80s synth bass. I added thermal using agitated lows, and also R bass. R bass from Waves using just a synth bass preset, and then adjusted the settings a bit. Now that made it go from this to this. It gave it so much more oomph. So yeah, definitely effects did a lot of the pulling here. And then finally just tapping on the guitar, because you know we're in the 80s, there's a lot of guitar tapping, so it goes something like this. That's it, right? The settings are absolutely the same. I haven't changed the guitar tone. I'm just that lazy, I suppose. And then in chorus 2, I've added a few more elements to make it more impactful. In the second chorus, we start off with drums. I've also, in the second chorus, I've added this drum loop, which makes everything sound a bit more fast-paced. It has like a D&B vibe to it. However, in the context of the song, it makes sense. So I'll just play it. The only other thing I've added is 2 guitar tracks this time around. I've copied it, I've pitched it up an octave, and now both guitars are going to sound like this. And now I will play the whole thing with the Nickelback vocals to prove scientifically that Nickelback is overhated. So yeah, if you like this video, if you find anything useful, yeah, drop a like, drop a follow, and see you in the next one.
How the hell do we wind up like this? And why weren't we able to see the signs that we missed and try to turn the tables? I wish you'd unclench your fists and unpack your suitcase. Lately there's been too much of this, but don't think it's too late. Nothing's wrong, just as long as you know that end up straight.